a good thing to add in addition to what I've planned as the main program for Ramadan 1441, which is the Pickthall translation, is the comment from the Abdullah Yusuf translation. Now, the poetic part of the comment. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The introduction. 1. Glory to Allah, Most High, full of grace and mercy. He created all, including man. To man he gave a special place in his creation. He honored man to be his agent, and that end endued him with understanding, purified his affections, and gave him spiritual insights, so that man should understand nature, understand himself, and know Allah through his wondrous signs, and glorify him in truth, reverence, and unity. 2. For the fulfillment of this great trust, man was further given a will, so that his acts should reflect Allah's universal will and law, and his mind, freely choosing, should experience the sublime joy of being in harmony with the infinite, and with the great drama of the world around him, and with his own spiritual growth. 3. But, created though he was in the best of molds, man fell from unity. When his will was warped, and when he chose the crooked path of discord and sorrow and pain, selfishness and degradation, ignorance and hatred, despair and unbelief, poisoned his life, and he saw shapes of evil in the physical, moral, and spiritual world, and in himself. 4. Then did his soul rise against himself, and his self-discord made discord between kith and kin. Men began to fear the strong and oppress the weak, to boast in prosperity and curse in adversity, and to flee each other pursuing phantoms. For the truth and reality of unity was gone from their minds. 5. When men spread themselves over the earth and became many nations, speaking diverse languages and observing diverse customs and laws, the evils became multiplied. As one race or nation became alienated from another. The brotherhood of man was now doubly forgotten, first between individuals, and secondly between nations. Arrogance, selfishness, and untruth were sown and reaped in larger fields, and peace, faith, love, and justice were obscured over masses of men, as large tracts of land are starved of sunshine by clouds floating far on high. 6. But Allah, in his infinite mercy and love, who forgives and guides individuals and nations, and turns to good even what seems to us evil, never forsakes the struggling soul that turns to him, nor the groups of men and women who join together to obey his will and law, and strengthen each other in unity and truth, nor the nations that dwell in mountain or valley, heat or cold, in regions fertile or arid, in societies that roam over land or sea, or hunt or tend flocks, or till the soil, or seek the seas for food, or oil, or fat, or gems, or dig out from the bowels of the earth precious stones or metals, stored up heat and energy, or practice arts and crafts, or produce abundant wealth by machines of ingenious workmanship, or live a frugal life of contemplation. For all are creatures of one God, and share his loving care, and must be brought within the pale of his eternal unity and harmony. 7. And so this light of eternal unity has shone in all ages and among all nations, though chosen messengers of Allah who came as men to dwell among men, to share their joys and sorrows, to suffer for them and with them, to suffer more than falls, to ordinary mortal lot, that so their message and their life might fulfill the eternal and unchanging purpose of the Most High to lead men to his noblest destiny. 8. Ever this eternal light of unity, this mystic light of Allah's own will, has shone and shines with undiminished splendor. The names of many messengers are inscribed in the records of many nations and many tongues, and many were the forms in which their message was delivered, according to the needs of the times and the understanding of the people. And manifold were the lives of the messengers, and manifold also was the response of their people. But they all witnessed the one truth of Allah's unity, might, grace, and love. 9. As the records of man are imperfect, and the memory of man unstable, the names of many of these messengers are known in one place and not in another, are among one people and not among others, and some of their names may have perished utterly, but their message stands, one and indivisible, even though it may have been forgotten, are twisted by ignorance, error, superstition, or perversity, are misunderstood in the blinding light of time or torturous circumstances. 10. Many were the faiths in the composite world of Western Asia, Northern Africa, and Europe, and many were the fragments of ancient wisdom, saved, transformed, renewed, or mingled, and many new streams of wisdom were poured through the crucibles of noble minds, prophets, poets, preachers, philosophers, and thinking men of action, and many were the conflicts, and many the noble attempts reaching out towards unity, and many were the subtle influences interchanged with the other worlds, further in Eastern Asia, and perchance with the scattered isles of the Pacific, and the world between the Atlantic and the Pacific. 11. At length came the time when the voice of unity should speak and declare to the people. Wisdom, the need of priests or priestcraft without miracles save those that happen now and always in the spiritual world, without mastery save those mysteries which unfold themselves in the growing inner experience of man and his vision of Allah, to declare with unfaltering voice the unity of Allah, the brotherhood of man, and grace and mercy, bounty and love, poured out in unstinted measure forever and ever. 12. And this great healing light shone among a people steeped in ignorance, brave and free, but without cohesion or union, simple and rude, but with an easy familiarity with nature, accustomed to nature's hardships and her rugged resistance to man, but dreaming of the delights of gardens and fruitful fields, cruel, yet with a rough sense of equality, and wielding a tongue flexible, beautiful, and able to respond with brevity and eloquence to the sublimest thoughts which man could conceive, And let us remember that Allah is the singular and definitive for God. And one of the great things about Islam is that as long as one is speaking based on knowledge, one is free to